Hello my loves. In this video I'm actually talking through my eBay sales in the month of March. Of course, I am soon going to be going over my eBay sales in the month of April, but I got a little behind here. In the month of March, I was focusing a lot on my full-time job and not so much on reselling, which is why I didn't get a video out, and I'm a little behind on the sales here. I didn't really list all that much in March or even April, so everything that I have sold, it has been just on autopilot. So reselling really is something that you can kind of go hard when you need to and kind of lay low when life calls for something different. So the first thing to sell on eBay in the month of March was a women's Ann Taylor Loft stretch dress. This was new with tag. It did sell for $11.10. It was free to me. If you are new around here, almost everything in my closet that is Loft is free. It was donated to me. I am so blessed to have that inventory donated to me. The buyer did also pay for shipping for this one. So really, if I were paying up for something, or if I were paying at all, I would want to make a little bit more profit, but because it was free, that $11.10 was good enough for me. This next piece was Blue and Gray, and it actually came from a consignment client. This Blue and Gray Loft size medium blouse sold for $17, so it was a little bit higher. I did have to go a little bit higher because I did have to pay out the client the 50%. The buyer also did pay for shipping for this one. This next piece was in collaboration with my mom. She works in Targets and different just retail stores, stocking different things, and so she always pays attention to what people pick up, retail arbitrage. This was one of the pieces we thought was going to go for a little bit more, but it didn't at all. It was a Hot Wheels virtual collection ice cream truck. This sold for 99 cents. She bought it for 25 cents with the fees and everything. I basically made the money back on that one. The buyer did pay for shipping for it though. This next piece here came from a thredup rescue box. I have now put a hold on getting thredup rescue boxes. I do still have one box in my garage that's literally been there since, September. I was about to say August. It's been there since September, which is still a pretty long time. I have just been going through a bunch of this inventory that's been donated to me and working with consignment clients and knowing that I can go back to that thredup rescue box when I need to. But anyway, this Ann Taylor, I don't know why I said Ann Taylor, I'm so used to saying it because a lot of my pieces are from Ann Taylor Loft, but this was an Old Navy leggings that came from a thredup rescue box. They sold for $12.50 and the buyer did pay for shipping. This next one came from the free inventory. It was not Ann Taylor Loft, but it was Tommy Hilfiger. A lot of the Tommy Hilfiger pieces in my closet also came from the free inventory. It was a light pink cotton dress. This sold for $15. The buyer did pay for shipping for it. This next piece came from a thredup rescue box. So my cost of goods on the thredup rescue boxes are just under $2. It's hard to tell exactly how much because a lot of the stuff is damaged or it's just not worth reselling, but I calculated to be approximately the $2. So that's what I go with when I'm making these videos here. I calculate my money in versus money out. I don't specifically pay attention to how much I pay piece by piece by piece. I just make sure I'm making money overall, which I am. This was a Lucky Brand workwear long sleeve black dress. This sold for $12.20. The buyer also did pay for shipping. This Ann Taylor Loft floral skirt, of course, came from a free inventory. It sold for $10.90. The buyer did pay for shipping. In most cases, I have the buyer pay for shipping. I usually, when I initially list something, I just set it for like whatever it automatically sets for in the shipping, like based on sell similar. And then each time I relist, I drop the price by $1 down each time. So if I ever have anything for free shipping, it means I've had it for months and months and months, and really it's just time to let it go. So if this was shipping paid, that means that I didn't have it very long. This next piece came from a consignment client. I didn't think it was worth it all that much at all. It was a J. Jill Pima Cotton floral casual top. This sold for $7.50, and then I had to split the profits with the consignment client as well, so obviously not worth it at all. Don't recommend doing consignment on J. Jill. Learned from my mistakes. The buyer did pay for shipping for it though, so I did make out on that, I guess. This next one did come from free inventory, so I'm kind of reviving myself from that. It was a Tommy Hilfiger women's polo cotton red dress. This sold for $10. The buyer did also pay for shipping for it. This next one that sold came from free inventory again. It was a Loft women's medium scoop neck cardigan. This sold for $8.40. Again, it was free, and the buyer did pay for shipping. More free inventory. This was a Tommy Hilfiger like oatmeal color polo dress. This sold for $24.20, and the buyer did pay for shipping. So making a little bit of money off of this free inventory. I highly recommend, if you can connect with anybody to get inventory donated to you, try to. Obviously don't take just anything. I wouldn't take like Amazon brands or H&M and things like that, but Tommy Hilfiger and Loft, for me, it's working out. Speaking of, this next piece also was the free inventory. It was an Ann Taylor Loft blue and white floral button-down shirt. This sold for $7.10. The buyer also did pay for shipping. Moving on, I sold a Tommy Hilfiger sports black crew neck dress. It sold for $12. The buyer did pay for shipping. Tommy Hilfiger again. Free inventory, never pass up the free inventory, such as this next piece was a Loft funnel neck dress in navy. It sold for $8.50. Buyer paid for shipping. It was free. If you notice a trend here, basically all my inventory was donated to me, but it's not selling for that high. But again, if it's free, I will take it, such as this next piece. It was a Loft women's eyelet blouse. This sold for $14.10. The buyer also did pay for shipping. This next piece also came from that same exact person. It was a Zara red shift dress. It sold for $18.50. The buyer did pay for shipping. Now, I don't want you to be watching this video and thinking that, oh, you have to go pick up these brands and things like that. It just really is situational. Depending on what you get. So if you have access to things like the bins or donations and you see these brands, I do suggest picking them up, but I wouldn't suggest paying up for them necessarily. This next piece also came from this same person, a free inventory. It was a Gap chambray long sleeve v-neck shirt. This sold for $5.20. The buyer also did pay for shipping. Moving on, I sold another Ann Taylor Loft women's sleeveless blouse. It was like a floral blouse. This sold for $10.90, and the buyer did pay for shipping for this one as well. Here we are on March 18th, and we have another piece of free inventory. Have you realized how many times I say free inventory? If you are counting, let me know. I'm not, but maybe we can make it into a drinking game. Drink every time I say a free inventory, because basically that's all I'm selling around here. But this particular instance was a Loft, Ann Taylor Loft women's softened shirt was the title of the shirt. It was pink, long sleeve like button down shirt. It sold for $15.50, and the buyer did go ahead and pay for shipping for it. Now this next piece was free inventory, another drink for you. But it wasn't from this same person. It was actually, I was online sourcing, and this was an Erdem floral day short dress. It was actually marketed as a long dress. There was only a stock photo. I went off of the stock photo, and when it came to me, it was actually shortened, and the hem job was awful. It was also stained, so I opened up a case, and Poshmark did that thing where they said, oh, you can keep the inventory and then we will give you a credit. So I went ahead and took it knowing that I would probably be able to get the stain out, and I probably was able to sell it as well. Obviously not at all for the price that I was looking to sell it for, but this particular dress sold for $29. I was able to wear it in a video. The hem job was so bad that I wouldn't wear it out, but I wore it in a video because it's cute on the top. And so for $29, the buyer did pay for shipping. So it was, you know, technically free to me, but it wasn't something that somebody donated to me. It was just, you know, a Poshmark gone wrong. I was okay with that price. This next piece came from the free inventory, another drink for you. This was a piece that was, go ahead and donated to me. It was a Zara women's golden or yellow dress. It was like a satiny type feel. This sold for $25. The buyer did also pay for shipping for it. Another piece of free inventory. This was an Antler Loft women's skinny jeans. They were a modern skinny style. These sold for $19.90 and the buyer did pay for shipping. Another piece on March 23rd of free inventory. This was a Tommy Hilfiger women's tie-dye dress. This sold for $10.20 and the buyer did pay for shipping. This next one was not free inventory. It came from a thredup rescue box. This was an M&G Basics women's cropped ribbed shirt. This sold for $9. The buyer did pay for shipping. Remember, my cost of goods on the thredup rescue boxes is just under the $2 mark. This next one on March 26th came from a consignment client. Through Flyp specifically. This was a Social Standard by Sanctuary dress. It sold for $5.80 and then I had to split the price with the consignment client at 50%. So $5.80, and yeah, I'm not doing so good on these flip flops. I think I'm kind of done with those. But the buyer did pay for shipping, so that was good on that one. This next one comes with a little bit of a story here. These Old Navy pants came from a thredup rescue box, so my cost of goods was just about $2. These sold for $13.23. And then the buyer got the pants and they wanted to return it. I do allow for returns on eBay. I don't think it's that big of a deal, especially if there's tags on it. You know, people get things, they decide they don't want it all the time. So yeah, I went ahead and accepted the return. I actually do have automatic returns set on. Got it back, the tags were taken out, they were washed, they were clearly worn, and I reached out to the buyer and said, I can allow you a partial refund on this. I can't refund you the full amount because you wore them. They understood. I'm sure they saw that coming anyways. And then I didn't hear back I didn't hear like a confirmation from them. So I reached out to eBay and they said I needed to wait until I heard confirmation on the exact amount that we agreed to refund. Well, I didn't hear back from them within the return window. I think it's like, I don't know, 3 days from the time that you get the item to the time that you're supposed to refund. Otherwise, it'll do it automatically. Didn't hear back on the confirmation on the price that we were going to refund. So it was automatically refunded the entire amount, even though that's not what we agreed on. I reached out to eBay and they kind of said, sorry about you. You should have figured that out before that window closed. They did say this won't negatively impact your store at all. So I wasn't trying to push the matter at all because I was afraid then they would put like some kind of ding on my account. And from $13.23, it really was not worth it to me. If it was something that was like $130, yes, maybe I would have pressed the matter a little bit more, but that really wasn't worth it to me to get a whole ding on my account and then me be having a bad rating in eBay's eyes. Because I'm pretty sure they do keep track of that stuff. I think they kind of keep a log of different sellers, different buyers. Every time they reach out, they kind of, you know, maybe have their secret notes of like, this person was a pain, things like that. I'm sure they write in a little bit more of a professional way than that, but I just didn't want that kind of stuff on my record, so I just let it be, let them have the full refund on it, and I just moved on with my day. This next one here came from a thredup rescue box. It was a J. Crew pear gray sweater. This sold for 99 cents. The buyer did pay for shipping for it, but 99 cents when I bought it for the $2 cost of goods. Obviously I lost money on this, but you kind of got to think of like overall in the big picture when you do these thredup rescue boxes. So if you were counting along the way of how many times I said free inventory, please leave it in the comments. I didn't count, but I'm really curious to know how many times I did say it because I feel like I was just saying it the entire video long. But that was my last sale in the month of March, specifically to eBay. Of course, we're almost at the end of the month, so I'm going to be talking about my April sales here soon. If you're not yet subscribed and you do want to hear about those April sales, now's the time to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I also ask that you quickly hit the like button. That does help my channel reach my larger audience, so that way we can continue to learn and grow together.